This reading comes from Northern Lights, The Stories of Minnesota's Past textbook, revised, second edition, written by Dave Kenny in consultation with the Minnesota Historical Society, published in 2013. Page 6.26. The Legacy of Treaties. Does a treaty signed more than 150 years ago still matter? Many treaties signed between American Indian nations and the U.S. government remain in effect today. As long as this is the case, both sides are legally required to obey the terms of the treaty. Reservation system. Most treaties in Minnesota created reservations on a small portion of the land purchased by the U.S. government. Reservations were pieces of land reserved specifically for the American Indian Nation signing a treaty. This means that while the American Indian Nation had exclusive rights to the land and the resources on it, they didn't outright own it. It was, and still is, a complicated arrangement. Goals for reservations. American Indians maintained sovereignty or control over their affairs on their reservations. They expected this land to be a place where they could live as they had traditionally, hunting, fishing, ricing, and planting their food. The U.S. government, however, considered reservations to be places where American Indians could learn to farm and live like American settlers. This conflict strained relations between American Indian nations and the government for many decades. Reservations today. Many reservations and communities established through treaties still exist today. Tribal governments create laws on tribal lands that are enforced by tribal police forces. American Indian nations and the U.S. government continue to work closely with one another. This is because of the special relationship that exists between the sovereign nations that negotiated the treaties. Ongoing debate, fishing rights. Disagreements still arise over how to interpret treaties today. Legal cases about treaty issues have gone all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court, the highest court in the United States. One such case was Minnesota versus Mille Lacs Band of Chippewa, 1999. In this case, the U.S. Supreme Court decided that Ojibwe from the Mille Lacs Reservation could return to hunt and fish in their traditional ways on lands they had ceded or turned over in a 1837 treaty with the United States. Language in the treaty reserved the right of the Ojibwe to hunt and fish traditionally, even when they were off the reservation. Over time, the state of Minnesota passed laws that restricted the rights of the Ojibwe to hunt and fish using traditional methods. The Supreme Court ruled that the state of Minnesota had to follow the terms of the 1837 treaty. Years after the court decision, many people on both sides of this issue still have strong feelings. Go ahead now and answer the questions on slide 9, and when you're done with that, you can answer the exit ticket on slide number 10 before turning in your slides.